The IAMCR-India Regional Conclave on the theme Development Journalism the Way Forward was organized on Tuesday, July 12th at the historic Press Club Kolkata. We had 8 speakers from different fields participating in a panel discussion on development journalism the way forward, and we also had a video from the IAMCR 2022 Beijing plenary session being played at the IAMCR India Regional Conclave. Over 75 faculty colleagues from different parts of the city and adjoining districts participated in this conclave. So let's have a look at a video report on the conclave.
The IAMCR Conclave 2022 held on July 12 at Press Club was an event worth mentioning. This event was organized by the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Surendranath College for Women. Spot registration was conducted. The remarkable event started with an inaugural speech by the revered principal of the college, Dr. Purnima Biswas Mukherjee, who graced the occasion with warmth and dignity. The event was graced by eminent speakers who talked at length on the topic Development Journalism the Way Forward. The chief guest and speakers were felicitated with flowers and tokens of appreciation. At the onset of the event, to keep the participants engrossed in such a thoughtful topic, they were kept hooked via fun online interactions on Mentimeter by the ambassador of IAMCR and the HOD of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Surendranath College for Women, Dr. Uma Shankar Pandey. Ms. Suchorita Bardhan, Communications Specialist, UNICEF West Bengal, gave her valuable speech on development journalism, thereby showing the attendees a way forward and how to take it to the mass.
While we want to focus on evidence-based journalism and come to that, all the ones that we mentioned in the Mentimeter about storytelling, visualization, very important. But if you don't have a clear understanding of media ethics, given the fact that there are laws and acts in the country which are now enforceable, unlike earlier times when there were only guidances, whether it was press council or otherwise, these are legally binding on you, and therefore, whether it is the POCSO Act or whether it is the Criminal Justice Act, these are legally binding on anyone who is a legal practitioner and who wants to report, including content journalism.
The next speaker who took to the dais to speak at length on development journalism was Mr. Snehasis Sur, President, Press Club Kolkata.
That if you can build the capacity of one educator, then you are reaching hundreds of budding journalists or budding communicators. That is what is important, and that is why always we see we keep some space for interaction with media academicians. If I am allowed to quote something that is said about education, अपूर्व को भी वंदना सर्वभारती कृष्ण में पैरतु वृद्धिमानाति शयमानाति संचयात् पैरतु वृद्धिमानाति शयमानाति संचयात्. Those of you who are familiar with Sanskrit will be able to understand that पैरतु वृद्धिमानाति, this is something which gets increased if you spend, if you share with others, if you dispense. Shayamayati sanchayat, it gets depleted if you preserve it. So the knowledge or skill is something which has to be shared.
The next speaker was Professor Dr. Mahul Brahma, Dean, School of Media and Communication, Adamas University, Kolkata. He shared his valuable insights with the audience.
The emphasis needs to shift from information dissemination to storytelling and empathetic storytelling as well. So, I see parents talked about storytelling and the importance of it. See, what happens is when you hear a sales pitch, your executive brain talks because you know somebody wants to money. When you hear a story, your executive brain opens up because it is a soothing feeling that you've been getting since the time from your grandmother or your mother. Companies also tell story during evening. But storytelling has been taken to the past. And therefore, empathy is a very strong emotion. Empathy doesn't mean sympathy. Empathy means that, and development journalism means empathy, it doesn't mean sympathy. You are not doing a favor to the person that you're reporting that. You're not doing a favor. So every journalist needs to be reminded of that. So the development storytelling has to be very engaging. So maybe one infographics, maybe photographs, very strong photographs. And it's a possibility. It just needs to be explored, that's all. 7. Contemporary development stories suffer from severe shortage of contextual information, which I think Snehasis also talked about. Most of these stories seem like they have been written in silos. This needs to be mentored. Even development journalism has to go anywhere. So the context is missing. So as I said, if you are talking about a macro parameter that has gone awfully wrong, give a context.
Dr. Minal Pareek, HOD, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Sister Nivedita University, Newtown, was the next speaker. She instilled some valuable guidances in the participants on how one can start applying the principles of development journalism in their daily life.
So truth is truth. So if you have to fight for it, why not fight for it? So these are little things, and then when we are in class, there are many students who tell us many examples of many journalists or other celebrity journalists. We can call them celebrity journalists now. But ma'am, what's the point in studying so much? Pen has power. Do you think so? So that's a very, very difficult question. So for us, pen still has the power. That is how we are going to take it back. And that is what we are going to give to our students. The rest the industry can corrupt them as much as they want. So that is very, very important that please do not tell them to do everything quick. That is not development, that is not communication. Yes, mobile journalism is there, but ethics are there, news is there, truth is there, verification is there. So those things, I myself, I'm extremely active on social media, but that doesn't give me the power to post and publish everything. And at the end of the day, we have followers, we have our students and the young students that are there around. So we hold a lot of responsibility, we shoulder a lot of responsibility. Let us try to do things within our capability, whether it's in our university, whether it's our workplace or at home.
The next speaker who graced the occasion was Dr. Ipsita Barat, Department of Mass Communication and Videography, St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. She showed how development journalism is portrayed via Indian cinema these days.
Development journalism is a new kind of journalism, a new attitude towards the treatment of a certain kind of subjects, of course keeping the development in mind. And then I was kind of inquisitive about, of course, being an academician, first academician and thereafter a practitioner. I was interested in where all, it is already a part of curriculum, and I was delighted that, IAMC as well as my alma mater, Jamia, offers an MA in development communication. Development and propaganda also has, I believe, a very thin line. And of course, there are numerous examples to talk about how media is related to or how cinema is related to propaganda. But the one example I always teach in class, and I always use in class, is the famous of this person called Kim Jong-il, right? Kim Jong-il is basically father of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. And before him being a dictator, he should be, and ideally is also recognized as a director, right? So he actually kidnapped an actress as well as a director from South Korea just to make films for him, right? And in these films, he featured himself, and he had all the supernatural powers. So he used these films actively throughout his early career, which basically portrayed him as with superhuman qualities, and therefore I believe that we are very good examples of cinema was being used as propaganda. Of course, there's a number of examples which I'm not talking about. So, in order to not navigate towards propaganda, what is important is to have socially conscious filmmakers, and since we are talking about journalism, of course, socially conscious journalists as well. And this brings me to a recent film that this system landed in Netflix, and it is a Netflix original, which means that it is an OTT first release. It is one of the very rare films, apart from one documentary and a couple of very, very offbeat films, where the film itself is located in Northeast. Now, before I talk about the film, let's speak about Northeast and Asia, right? As many of my esteemed panelists were already talking about, that Northeast, you mentioned, that Northeast has somehow vanished from our general media scale, right? The reason being, of course, we all know that most of our news is Delhi-centric or Mumbai-centric. The reason being, most of the readers or most of the consumers are from these metro cities.
The last speaker of the event was Mr. Nimish Kapoor, scientist E-Vigyan Prasar, who shared his vast knowledge with the keen participants and made the event all the more interesting.
तो हम समझते हैं कि ये जो डेवलपमेंट जर्नलिज्म का जो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो फुलफिल हो सकता है। तो वो बहुत जरूरी है टू कनेक्ट साइंस की मास्टर्स, टू इंटरैक्ट साइंटिस्ट, क्योंकि उनका जो लैंग्वेज है वो रिसर्च पेपर का लैंग्वेज। वी जर्नलिस्ट फैकल्टी मास कम्युनिकेशन टीचर एंड ऑल हम उनसे इंटरैक्ट कर सकते हैं कि नो कि हमें एक पेपर से क्या निकालना है। That's it, introduction and conclusion. वो समराइज फॉर्म में हमको 100 शब्द में या 500 शब्द में रिपोर्ट देना है, रिपोर्ट लेना है, उसको पता। ये सारी चीजें मुझे लगता है कि हमें अपना प्रैक्टिस में लाना होगा, और डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन में हम बिजली, पानी, सड़क ये सब बातें करते हैं। उसके साथ साथ अगर हम मेडिसिन, इन्वायरमेंट और हाइजीन, हेल्थ, इकोलॉजी की बात करेंगे, मुझे लगता है कि एक नया बहुत सारा इंफॉर्मेशन हम अपने ऑडियंस को दे सकते हैं और हमारा डिसीजन मेकिंग इन्फॉर्म्ड डिसीजन। तो फिलहाल मुझे लग रहा है कि वो अच्छा है। तो आई वुड इनवाइट your contribution to India Science Wire and India Science OTT channel. You can contribute scripts, features, research-based news stories separately, and can also take to develop some short-term, some credit-based course on science communication in good quality. Thank you.
The event ended with interactive question and answer session. Audiences who took keen interest in attending the event received certificates, which was followed by vote of thanks by the MC of the event and lunch.